I generally say that I'm from Bombay, but that's slightly exaggerating a bit because I'm technically not from Bombay. It's like Delhi person, Noida person saying that I'm from Delhi, which is not the case. So I'm from Thane. Uh, and absolutely growing up, I had no connection, direct connection with sport. Uh, you know, I grew up in a, I wouldn't say a very typical Gujarati household because we weren't like, we didn't have our shops or business, family business and stuff like that. But we weren't that involved in sport as well, right? My parents, I hear a lot of people, talk about their childhood, jahan par, over dinner table there used to be conversation about a football match from the past or a cricket match from 70s or 80s. There were a few conversations, but not like a die-hard discussion about मैराडोना ने 86 में ऐसा गोल मारा था या गावस्कर की मतलब गावस्कर's defense was this strong. It wasn't ever like that. So my introduction to sport, uh, I think it was through my school's hockey team.
Okay.
And back then, so this I'm talking about the late 90s. And my school, it was a very modest school, not a big fancy name or anything.
Mm.
But the only thing that we were good at was producing merit holders in the state board
Mm.
and a very good hockey team.
Okay.
And I wasn't a bright kid at all on the studies front. Like I was like पास होने में struggle करने वाला आदमी.
Yeah.
So my natural inclination went towards the hockey team, for which my elder brother played.
Mm.
And that was my introduction to any kind of sport.
You played as well for the school team, and then
If being benched all the time counted as played, yes, I did.
it does. You're involved at least. You're involved in
Yeah.
that. Because my father was a cricket coach for 3 full seasons. I was the scorer for the team. I mean, I was there, but I was
You
just
at least did an important job. I didn't do even that.
true. I love doing it in fact. So, but nice. So when you went to college, and I assume you studied journalism for in college, and was there an
Yeah.
inclination to become a sports journalist because of this affinity towards hockey, or did you just as in end up doing it?
So my whole idea was pretty much clear when I was, I think, around eighth standard. I know it's pretty early,
Yeah.
but I like I said, I liked sport. That was the only thing I understood.
Mm.
And I don't remember if it was eighth or ninth, but that's when the 9/11 attacks happened.
Yeah.
And the way those events were covered, right? I mean, obviously the tragedy was massive, but what also fascinated me was the way that whole thing was, the story was told to the entire world, and that role of a journalist at that point fascinated me. uh, and the idea of being a part of the conversation in one way or the other, वो मुझे काफी fascinating लग रहा था. So I didn't want to be a spectator for big events whenever they're unfolding. I didn't want to be afar from it and not be associated with it one way or the other.
Yeah.
uh, I thought of combining my two passions at that point,
Yeah.
sports and journalism,
Yeah.
and I had no head or tail. कुछ पता नहीं था. How will I go about it?
Mm.
But I just decided that I'll be a sports journalist. So that was around eighth or ninth standard,
Okay.
and it just built on from there. Yeah, because when I was in class 12 and the examinations got over,
Yeah.
I got a gig with the local Marathi newspaper
Mm.
to go and cover a cricket match which was happening at a stadium in Thane.
Okay.
And back then, it was in 2005, the summer of 2005,
Yeah.
and it was Air India versus BPCL, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And that was the first match of Rohit Sharma as well, playing the local league
Oh wow.
over there.
That's a
So
milestone match to cover then. Yeah.
yeah, and I absolutely had no idea
Yeah.
who Rohit Sharma was back then.
Yeah.
And but yeah, the whole idea of being there at a cricket ground
Yeah.
and just following the game in a very different way.
Mm.
Wahan se just the whole idea of being a sports journalist, it just kind of formed up in my head.
Yeah.
And by the time I reached college, I did my journalism. uh, I was already on my way. So I mean, it in my case, I think graduation just became incidental because all my priorities and work wise, it was sorted by then.
True, true. But as you started writing about sports, and I mean, once you get initiated into the process of, say, journalism or writing or reporting about sports, you end up covering a lot of sports which you did not perhaps necessarily follow before that. So did it happen with you too?
Yeah.
You stick to your, which I'm sure would
Oh,
have,
no, no, no.
yeah, wouldn't have happened. Yeah, exactly.
No, 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 absolutely not. So, uh, I've one thing that was clear was I did not want to write about cricket, and not because I don't like cricket. I love cricket,
Yeah,
but I just find the whole idea of writing a cricket report,
yeah,
be it a feature or a match report or anything,
yeah.
that is very difficult for me to
Mm.
encapsulate or to crunch a 7 hour proceeding in 700 words or 400 words.
Yeah,
That is a skill at another level which I do not have.
yeah,
uh, so I was naturally inclined towards football, Olympic sports,
mm,
and it was at the 2010 Commonwealth Games when I realized ki, uh, you know, what I'm faced with, because I landed on the first day of the Commonwealth Games inside the weightlifting arena,
okay.
and I had never seen a weightlifter live in action in front of me.
Yeah,
And a very senior journalist, a very respected figure, Mr. Sabha Nayakan, who was with who was in Calcutta working with the Telegraph or the Hindu. I'm not too sure.
okay.
Pardon me for that.
Yeah, that's right.
Uh, yeah. So he was there, and he handholded me through the entire thing.
Mm,
Uh, Similarly, there were so many different sports. Shooting, it was the first time I saw over there. Even though we had all seen Abhinav Bindra win
yeah,
the gold medal,
yeah,
but it is different when you are at the venue and covering shooting.
yeah.
Uh, Same with wrestling.
Mm,
All we had seen on television till Sushil Kumar won that medal in Beijing
mm,
was our WWE
yeah,
and that sort of wrestling.
yeah.
So as you kind of grew into the profession, you were confronted, and these are big challenges. I mean, to write a report on weightlifting or on shooting isn't easy.
True.
But like Sabha sir and many others, I mean, it just help came at the right time for me.
Yeah.
People who just kind of pushed me in the right direction, so I did not make mistakes.
I have a very similar experience of the 2010 Commonwealth Games. So leading up, we had, I think it was a team of three or four. We had put together a book for Penguin India called The Road to Commonwealth Games, in which we had predicted
Hmm.
the number of medals India would win. So, I mean, we had to provide a range, and we provided a range of 96 to 105. And I think it
Wow.
ended up winning 101. So we were bang in
Yeah.
center, yeah. But as India started winning medals, like our team asked us to go and watch the events as well. And I had only primarily seen pictures of sporting events, yeah, or seen them on TV. And from even from broadcast to what actually
Yeah.
happened in front of you is so different. I was just, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, like, okay, this looks a lot. And I had lived in a bunch of sports hostels, so I had seen some of them. But at the very
Hmm.
top, it was just very, very fascinating to see
Where
them.
was your sports hostel?
In Bardhawan, right? In Bardhawan District Sports
Oh,
Association.
okay.
Yeah. So it's very funny, but we all sports people, different sports, used to live together. And
Yeah.
it's a very funny story, but I ended up running my state championship in athletics because my roommate was a 10,000-meter runner. And he said,
Wow.
for the district meet, he said, "Can you be my pacemaker?" I said, "Yeah, sure." So I was running with him. I never stopped. So I finished second, he finished first, and I qualified to run for the state championship. But yeah, living in a sports
Beautiful.
kind of prepares ourselves to, okay, you can see a lot of sports, but to see it at the very top. I remember I was there to watch Sally Pearson run the 100 meters, and
Oh, that was amazing.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was absolutely phenomenal. So I think that was my highlight of the games. So yeah.
Yeah. But it's interesting, you mentioned about living in a sports hostel. the biggest handicap of growing up in a big city, be it Thane or Mumbai, I'm guessing to a certain extent Delhi. I'm not too sure how it was growing up over there.
Yeah.
But the thing was that you were never exposed to sports beyond cricket and football. Uh, I mean, at school level, I mean, Bombay kills it in both those sports. I mean, even as a reporter,
Yeah.
there used to be intense competition to cover inter-school football matches.
Yeah.
You know, we used to be at the ground at under 16 level K matches at 7 a.m. and stuff.
Mm.
But then beyond these sports, you were never exposed to anything serious,
Mm.
and that's why there is a lot of ignorance from this part, and it becomes difficult to then create this whole atmosphere for these sports and
So
also understand.
I think because at least till even the early 2000s, there was this whole culture. I think even the late 2000s, to be honest, there was this whole culture in the smaller towns that
Hmm.
uh, you could find a job through sports, and these were not lucrative jobs. These were not IPL contracts,
Yeah,
but these were just
yeah,
regular railways jobs or public sector jobs.
yeah. Class 4 government
Yeah,
officer. That's
exactly.
it.
I came from that sort of a background, right? As in, my father got a job because of sports, and exactly that. As in, he basically, and he used to play decently well, but he got a clerical job in Steel Authority of India Limited, and I was surrounded by people like these because there would be people who would say, okay, there are 2 seats for boxing, so
Hmm.
I mean, there's a possibility over there, and if you start training right now, maybe in 4 or 5 years, you would be at a level that you can land a job. So a lot of other sports as well found takers because of I have a feeling because of this, because at least there was sustainable employment over there. Not nothing fancy, but so many of my friends ended up joining the railways, ended up joining the SAIL and other way.
Yeah, yeah,
If I'm not getting this horribly wrong, you covered the London Games as well, didn't you?
yeah. So I'll just go back a bit
Yeah,
before Commonwealth Games.
yeah,
So my goal as a sports journalist was to cover a football World Cup final.
yeah,
I didn't have these ambitions to go for a multidisciplinary event. I hadn't taken it very seriously
yeah,
till then.
yeah,
And uh, like 2 years into a profession, properly full time and stuff, and I went to the South Africa World Cup, and I had finished ticking that one box of covering a World Cup final. So then I was like, Abhi aage, what do I do? I mean, if there is anything bigger for a journalist, sports journalist, so in football, I've done that.
yeah,
So that's when, and one thing I realized, bhai, ki at the football World Cup, obviously you get this different high, a different kick of being there, covering a football World Cup and stuff. But maybe it's different for others. For me, I didn't have that connect.
hmm,
If I'm a sporting patriot in that sense, so if India isn't there,
yeah,
I'll, I mean, you'll watch it, but you won't be emotionally invested.
true.
I think,
Yeah, yeah,
and that's what I experienced at the football World Cup.
hmm,
So then this whole thing began to explore Olympic sports more seriously, and it became much more fun for me.
yeah,
So Commonwealth Games may the good thing was that you had this big team covering the whole thing for your newspaper.
yeah.
So you had the freedom to still understand the sport uh, before you write it. I don't know if I'm making sense here,
No,
but
it's making absolute
you
sense. You have to, grow into understanding a sport to get the nuances and
yeah
write about it. Yeah, absolutely.
and so I had that cushion at the Commonwealth Games, so that became a nice platform to then go and cover the Olympics or the Asian Games and stuff after that.
I was asking, and I find that very intriguing, is that, say, Commonwealth Games where it's in Delhi, so you obviously have a bigger pool of people from your media
Yeah.
house going and covering, right? At the Olympic Games, you're definitely the only person from your media house who's covering. So that's a lot of sports to write about all by your own. Did you find that pretty challenging?
Thankfully, so at the 2012 Olympics,
Yeah.
I was with DNA, and we had two reporters covering the games for us.
Okay.
So it was me and another senior journalist, Chandrasekhar Luthra,
Okay. Yeah.
and we had divided the responsibilities among us. So still, yeah, it is daunting. It is extremely intimidating, that process, because The challenge, I think, the biggest challenge was you. By now, I've understood कि क्या होता है, right? I mean, you understand कि what happens in weightlifting, what happens in shooting, how do you go about your stories and stuff.
Yeah.
But so पहले दिन you reach there as a शेर कि चल यार ओलंपिक से क्या होगा, मैं conquer कर लूंगा ये. And then the moment you get out of the airport, the enormity strikes you because there's just so much happening over there. And as a journalist, it becomes very difficult for you to remain focused on your task.
True.
And your task, the most important task is to ensure that you cover the Indian contingent well. But at the same time, your task is also to bring that flavor of the city to your readers. You know, and there's just so much happening to pick that right things to narrate, to tell it as a story to your people becomes extremely challenging. It is I mean 24 hours come pad jate. I mean, I literally slept what 3-4 hours a day for 3 weeks straight.
But if you leave the part where you're absolutely crushed with work, how does it feel being in a city when the Olympics is happening? How is that? Is there a experience which comes close by?
No.
FIFA World Cup or the Olympic Games?
Olympic Games. The World Cup again. I think it is a much better spectacle. Because there is this constant narrative from day one to the last day at a World Cup, right? But it is scattered. It is scattered in 8, 10, 12 cities. So then, you go from one city to other, the things really die down a bit. But Olympics, for the entire month, it is like a complete party. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but imagine you are in a situation where if you're traveling in a train, you are standing next to a Morris screen, or if you are in a cafe at the media center, and standing in front of you for a coffee and a cookie is Amir Khan, the boxer. And I mean, even if you discount all these things, and if you just walk through the streets of a city while an Olympics is going on, it is just a different experience because everyone is talking about is only sport. That's the only thing on TV. I mean, BBC had some 21, 25 channels dedicated for the Olympics. So the moment you flip your channels, the only thing that you'll see is sport. If you go to a normal coffee shop, the only thing people will be talking about is how much medals have your country won. And as an Indian, that's always an embarrassing thing. So that the conversation is just about the sport. The people, most of them are headed to one stadium or another. Like if you are bumping into someone in the street, that person 99% is heading to some stadium. And you'll find some reference, some reference ki you'll एक conversation बन जाएगा वहीं पर आपका उसके साथ. And just the number of nationalities.
If you have a linkage with sports in some way or the other, you just manage to strike conversation with someone from a completely different place very quickly. And I think that's beautiful that through sports there's so many people who would relate to each other and just find something common to talk to.
Absolutely, and I'm guessing you would know it better because of the way where you work and the people you work with.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to 2 World Cups now. The first one was actually as a journalist, and what you mentioned is absolutely right. So I was in the media center, and like everywhere we would turn, and this was a senior journalist from the UK who kind of made me look into this bit. Okay, so I was struggling to find quotes for the matches. I was basically trying to find a few experts to give me a few quotes. He said, "You're in the best place in the world. Just look around. Look around at every table. You'll find some international football." This is before the opening game, and that was right because everywhere I looked, there was, say, a Phil Neville somewhere. I mean, there's a Gus, and Ronaldo walked in one day. So Kaka walked in before the opening match. It was crazy. And
Yeah.
but even with the fans and in Russia, it was crazy how like the whole city at times, whatever city we would be in, would just come together for this big carnival. When Russia beat Spain, the
Hmm.
whole of Red Square was dancing, and pretty much like say a couple of kilometers around as well. Everyone was dancing.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was just brilliant being there, and that's why I think, and I'm not sure how it will work out, but I think Qatar would be an amazing World Cup because the the maximum distance between two stadiums is 40 minutes. So it's basically like the Olympic Games. And so,
Yeah.
like, whenever or however they manage to do it, but to do it in one city, which has never happened before in the World Cup history, I mean, people just meeting like-minded
It
people,
is.
wonderful time.
Yeah. No, of course, yeah. And I think there is this whole trend that you know you create a controversy before any major event in any country.
Yeah,
Uh, unless you're Tokyo and you're ready 1 year before, and then coronavirus strikes,
yeah,
that's sheer bad luck.
yeah,
But every major event preceding, there is a major controversy about its preparedness or whether it will be fun to watch. A lot of things were said about Russia as well, and
yeah.
eventually things
World Cup.
go on pretty smoothly. Sorry, pretty without any hiccups, and it's party everywhere. And I'm sure Qatar will be the same. Like there is no reason to believe it won't.
Yeah, I mean, people mention this, and there's been studies about this that leading up to the first match, the amount of stuff that is written about or covered, and at times reasonably so. There are issues which need to be written about. The thing with sports is that the moment that gun goes off or the whistle goes off, as in for the match,
Yeah,
then you have to write about sports because that's what that's what will be covered after that. So I think that's that holds true for a lot of events in general, most events actually. Just I can't remember like sporting events of late at least in which there has been a lot of focus off field when the event has actually started. Obviously we have had some terrible incidents in the past, like say the bombings in Atlanta or the attacks in,
yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, I mean, unless something of that order kind of happens, I think things just smoothen out. And I think it'll be the same for Tokyo. I mean, we'll all be talking about COVID protocol and everything till that first event starts, isn't it? And after that, I think most things would kind of fall into place.
True, true. But I hope Tokyo provides the same experience. Yeah, in the sense, it right now it doesn't look like it will be, you know, a 24/7 carnival atmosphere in Tokyo.
No, I don't.
Like just
Yeah,
yeah, Abhi. I was in fact an hour ago. I was just reading a report where they recorded most number of cases
yeah,
so far in this whole COVID pandemic duration.
yeah,
So it isn't looking bright, and I'm sure even if the Olympics happen, which I'm sure will happen,
yeah.
uh, it will be very different to what we are used to seeing otherwise.
I
Uh,
have a feeling that it would be, and it's a scary thought to have, but from whatever I hear, and Japan's very insistent on holding the Olympics, and IOC is
yeah,
also because I mean there's a massive amount of money riding on actually the Olympic Games happening, but it just seems like it would be like this one massive bio bubble that it would work under, where there might be when it
yeah.
comes to that do you have it or do you not have it, as in do you have it without spectators or do you not have it at all? And I'm sure they will go for have it without
Have
spectators.
it without spec.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so, which will kill off the whole experience. But I mean, something's better than nothing, I
yeah.
suppose.
Even 50% spectators would kind of take away the charm.
Yeah. I mean, the moment you kind of take away this whole bonhomie, this whole camaraderie that exists, in an Olympic village, outside the Olympic village, in an Olympic city,
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
wouldn't be the same. But I mean, crazy times, so might as well
Seriously,
at least.
seriously.
I will pick on something that you said before, by the way, about
Yeah.
being an Indian and say covering an Olympic Games. But I'm sure the answer to this is yes. But have you been in the room when an Indian has gotten a medal, and how did that feel? Which one was it, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think the first one that I saw was Gagan.
Yeah, there was.
winning the bronze medal.
Yeah,
It was absolutely surreal, that feeling, no?
yeah,
Uh, and look, I mean, we aren't used to winning that many medals,
true.
right? I mean, be it at Olympics or even Asian Games for that matter, they're there obviously, but not in the main sports and stuff.
Yeah,
But at the Olympics, it is uh, it is a proud moment. Whatever you say, it's a very lame thing to say,
yeah,
but it does feel good that someone from your country is winning a medal,
true.
and at least for that day
Yeah,
you will be in focus. You by you I mean that athlete, your
yeah,
country,
absolutely. Yeah,
and it is just also a part of the banter.
yeah,
So when I was in Incheon at the Asian Games
yeah,
in 2014,
yeah,
uh, India were having the most horrific start. I mean, we weren't winning medals anywhere.
yeah.
And by then, China had some 50 medals, South Korea, they had won some 35, 40 medals and stuff. I don't know the exact number, just a ballpark figure.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was out for lunch one day. There was a mall just across the media center,
Mm,
and there was this only place in that entire surrounding which served vegetarian food.
okay.
So So I was out there having a pizza, and
Yeah,
even the old lady who served me the pizza, she came and asked, and she just looked at me, said that uh, China 50, South Korea 35, Indo 0, and she laughed and she just went away. You know. So
yeah,
yes, some humiliations you don't have to go through if your guys are winning medals.
yeah, yeah. So Gagan was the first. Were you there for the others as well, or
Yeah, yeah,
all
yeah.
of them?
I was the only main match that I missed was Sushil Kumar's semi-final. You
Okay.
know, the one where he allegedly bit the ear.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, so that match, it was London time. It was kind of early. The preliminary rounds were a bit early,
yeah,
and it was very far from the place I was staying. So I just thought, there's this one day where I've got time to sleep till late,
yeah.
uh, and Shekhar was already there, my colleague. So I
Okay.
thought, कि चलो यार, I mean, कुछ होगा नहीं if I reach a bit late.
Yeah,
And yeah, so by the time I reached there, it was all over. I mean, Sushil. So I actually went there, and Sushil, the only match Sushil lost was the one I saw.
yeah,
So I missed the the better matches that he had, but otherwise, yeah, the best medal obviously for me that games was Vijay Kumar.
okay.
Totally unexpected, and he shot so beautifully throughout.
The way Yogeshwar kind of did the double flip and the triple flip
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
to win the bronze was just. I mean, it has remained as one of the most iconic moments in Indian sport for me. Just I'm assuming you were there for that as well. So
It was visually so stunning what
yeah,
he did.
yeah,
Even if you don't understand wrestling, or if you don't follow the sport, just for sight, right? That you're in an Olympic medal match, and then you just flip your opponent एकदम पूरा disdain से.
ah,
Uh, that was magnificent, that moment. And again, like we say, right? I mean, these are not the names, Vijay Kumar ho gaya, Yogeshwar Dutt ho gaya, which people, majority of us in India, were not even aware of these names before they won the medal.
yeah, yeah,
And then suddenly uh, the entire world is talking about them.
yeah,
I think that is the whole beauty of the Olympics. We were at Mary Com's bout,
hmm,
and Abhay, you should have seen the rush at mixed zone. Every time Mary finished her bouts,
yeah,
like, you had media from all over the world, literally, like a small cramped mixed zone,
yeah,
and there you had some 60, 70 journalists each time Mary finished her bout.
yeah.
It is absolutely fascinating. Some of the stories that Olympics weaved for India.
And I mean, if you had to, you talked about Incheon, South Africa, London, but if you had to, say list 5 days, man, of you covering sport, and you were like, "Ki, this is amazing. This is what I aspired to do." 5 events, 5 days, whatever you wanna
Oh, wow.
learn to.
Oh, that is extreme. I won't say it's tough.
Yeah.
So obviously,
So take your
uh,
time. Yeah.
no. I won't, I think, actually need to take my time.
Yeah.
So the first time I felt that was during the Germany and Spain semi-final in Durban,
Okay.
right? That was one big high for me.
Yeah.
Then maybe I'd say it will be uh, Saina's medal
Yeah.
at London,
Yeah.
because I've been fascinated with Saina right from day one. The way she's kind of gritted out, no, in badminton scene, challenging China's dominance single-handedly and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was extremely fascinating.
Yeah.
Uh, a very different. I mean, I wouldn't really say that it is one of the most sexiest moments, but Jeetu Rai's gold medal in Asian Games, now.
Mm.
I haven't seen a calmer mind than that ever.
Mm.
Uh, so it wasn't a moment that made me feel like कि यार चलो अच्छा हुआ मैं sports journalist बना.
Ah,
But it was a moment where I thought कि shit, if I wouldn't have been a sports journalist, then I wouldn't have been able to see this.
true.
So that was a very fascinating period. I think the entire Gold Coast Commonwealth Games here.
Yeah. Must have
Uh,
been beautiful as well, right? Gold Coast.
oh,
Yeah.
ekdam. I
Yeah.
mean, beautiful is an understatement. That entire games, now it was like breeze,
Okay.
brilliantly organized, heavenly location.
Yeah.
Uh, Commonwealth Games, matlab, you don't have any lack of medals for India as well.
Yeah.
So it ticks almost all the boxes, and it becomes too hard to work there because there are so many distractions.
True.
So that, and uh, all the hockey matches that I've covered in the last 6 years in Bhubaneswar.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
mean, every time I've gone there, I've seen the place grow, develop,
Yeah.
and they have done it single-handedly through using sport as a catalyst
Yeah.
over there.
Mm.
I'm sure there are pros and there are cons, like everything, but the way the government and the people involved over there have used sport to change everything around that. I mean, I remember the first time I'd gone there, I was staying at a hotel just opposite Kalinga Stadium,
Mm.
and उस road पे कुछ नहीं था. It was just a barren highway,
Mm.
and there was one big bazaar जहाँ पर भी मतलब आधा building was under construction.
Mm.
And the last time I went there, which was in January this year,
Mm.
sorry, last year. I forget that we are in 2021. So last January, I was there,
Yeah.
and it has completely transformed that place. So Bhubaneswar has been a good lesson both on and off the field. I mean, on field, you've seen the Indian hockey team improve
Yeah.
over all these years.
Yeah.
Like people, a lot of people make fun of me when I say it, but I do believe that they're genuine medal contenders in Tokyo if they wake up on the right side of the bed.
True.
Uh, so all India matches, all hockey matches, not just India, in Bhubaneswar and Lucknow in the last 5-6 years.
That's a
I
great.
don't know if that was five or what, but
In
but
over 5, but I mean, what I would also like to know is that has there ever been a game where you're just gone as a fan, like gone as someone who just want to see the match, and it could be a
all
game
cricket matches.
where wearing accreditation, but you were not actually covering the game. No.
Oh no. All cricket matches that I've seen, it's all been as a fan.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
uh, Kevin Peterson's famous 186 at Wankhede Stadium,
Yes.
I saw it from the Garware Pavilion in North Stand.
Yeah.
The India-Australia Test match in Dharamshala, I saw it. I made a trip with one of my college friends, and we saw the match from the stands. Beautiful again. What a brilliant setting for a match.
Yeah.
So a lot of matches here, a lot of matches. So many football matches because uh, even earlier, right? I mean, when we saw matches at Cooper Age, you didn't necessarily report on all of those matches,
Yeah.
so you can just relax and watch it as a spectator.
And
So yeah, a lot of.
are there things on TV, Mihir, and not just in person, but are there things on TV that you would like? wake up early to watch, like sports on TV basically, or stay up late to watch? I'm sure those were things that you used to do when you were say younger, but do you still kind of find it motivating enough to say wake up early morning to watch US Open or a
No.
day test?
I did it this time. I don't know if it was because of the lockdown,
Yeah.
but I'm not an early person.
Okay.
So anything that starts before 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm generally off those things. Uh, and it turns out that I'm not even a late night person anymore. So my life has become very, very weird right now. So I can't kind of stay awake beyond 1 or 1:30 in the night. So
Okay.
वो जब भी daylight saving वाला issue हो जाता है, then it becomes a big problem because I miss out on most of the matches. Uh, but I don't know if it's happened with you, Bhai, but I, over a period of time,
Yeah.
have started watching less and less sport on TV.
That has happened to
So
me as well. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have gotten less obsessive about watching sports on TV at least,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I
Uh,
mean, I have a very weird set of things that I don't miss. Like it's a very
which
weird.
is
So, for example, I'm a massive Stanford swimming team fan, so I watch most of their races, and uh, I would not miss Bengal cricket team playing mostly, and
okay. That's fascinating.
yeah, and yeah, I mean, I try and watch like what I do now is that things which kind of really interested me at one point of time, I would still manage to catch highlights at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
cricket, most test match cricket, I would watch highlights, and till the last Olympic Games, I don't know what will happen when Tokyo happens, but I would watch like sports all day. I mean, the Olympic Games, then I don't miss at all because I would be watching.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But overall, as in, I say wouldn't watch a lot of, say, Premier League or Indian football for that matter. Or, I mean, things that I used to watch a lot back in the day, I just don't manage to anymore. And I kind of tend to lose patience. At times, I end up watching more IPL than, say, some of the test matches. Not because of anything else, but because it's a shorter 3.5, 4 hour window where
And it's entertaining.
and it's
It's
entertaining.
massively entertaining.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, as a package overall, I think it's quite amazing. So I mean, I would end up watching it. You're right. I mean, the amount of time I would spend just watching sport has gone down massively.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, and the same here. I don't kind of spend my weekends anymore watching Premier League or La Liga. Uh, my midweeks aren't spent watching Champions League.
Yeah,
There was a time when I have cancelled, important things in life to watch a big Champions League match midweek or a big important football match on the weekend,
yeah,
which I don't anymore. And it's not even that I do anything important. I just don't do anything.
yeah,
So, uh, so I think, yeah, I don't know if it's because of our profession or what we do, but I think after a point, you need to be kind of thoda sa uh,
ठहराव आ जाता है.
develop distractions. Yeah, develop distractions so that you're not into sport all the time. I mean,
Yeah,
anyway, I don't know. I mean, still at the back of the mind,
yeah,
I'm generally thinking about something or the other related to sport,
yeah,
even while we are talking.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but I don't want to be thinking about sport, watching sport, and then writing about sport all
Yeah.
my life. Else, yeah, I'll go mental very soon.
What has happened with me is that especially over the last 5 years, because I've also worked in sport, right? So most of the times
Hmm.
I I mean, I try very hard, and I think to a great extent I'm successful at doing it. I managed to normalize, these demigods around me, especially when there's this big
Yeah,
footballer or someone who just walks past or is talking to me. Then I'm just talking to him. I'm not. If someone asks me for, say, kadak chai
yeah.
I mean, a Caucasian guy would ask me for a kadak chai, I would laugh and just pull his leg and not pretend to have idolized him all my life. And what has happened is I try and watch games at times when I'm there in person. So I would make my way to. I'm a big sporting venue fanatic, so I
Oh,
try.
of course, yeah.
Yeah, so I try and visit a lot of Olympic stadiums, and but when it's actually happening, because I'm primarily there for work, I kind of, you know, just get swayed, and then I don't actually end up watching matches. I missed so many like good moments because I was working. I mean, so many historic moments because I was.
And you don't register it, not Tavi at
Yeah,
that moment.
in that moment, I don't. Yeah, I think the only one,
Yeah.
some of the ones that I remember are obviously big. Say, Trippier scored a goal in the first minute of the World Cup semi-final in 2018. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, I missed. I think I was in the stadium and yet missed two of the goals that were scored in the final of the 2018 World Cup. And when India beat Thailand, and I think that was a massive moment for us. I think today is
Of
the
course. Yeah. Yeah.
anniversary of that game. I saw on Instagram or somewhere.
Oh,
But
of course. Yeah. Yeah.
January. So when India beat Thailand, I think I missed a couple of our goals in that as well. I was there in the stadium. In fact, I was like on the pitch. But yeah, it so happens that when you're working, you kind of end up missing it. And then you would go
Yeah.
back and I just don't feel that bad about it anymore. I still regret, say, not being there for certain events, but I don't feel bad about the events that I was there but I couldn't watch because I was working on it. So I think that's
Oh no. So you know what I do for that? Whenever I'm at any of these events,
yeah,
I make it a point that जितना भी deadline pressure हो या whatever your schedule is,
yeah,
I make it a point to visit at least one event
yeah,
just to get the atmosphere
yeah.
and the experience.
Hmm.
Uh, because rest of the time it just goes as a blur. I mean, if you ask me what uh, Saina Nehwal or Sushil Kumar did after they won the medal,
Yeah,
I wouldn't remember, or I won't even remember their signature move from that point because it's just a blur, all of it.
yeah,
So uh, I kind of make it a point to just go at a venue and relax and watch as a spectator. Because
I
experience, I think, is important.
in the last 2 or 3 years, and it's not. In fact, I didn't. I just generally like being in stadiums or places with crowds where there's an event happening. So I was uh, the 2019 IPL final in Hyderabad. I was there.
Okay,
I made my way inside the stadium. It was obviously quite the experience inside. Yeah, and I took
I'm
a
sure
I took a like an upper stall ticket so that I didn't want to be, say, in a hospitality area where you'd still be in the
it's
comfort.
not fun. Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
fun.
it's not fun.
And then that year, I made my way to the Kumbh Mela. I've never seen a bigger event. I
Really?
I've never seen a bigger event in my life. There's nothing compared to the Kumbh Mela. It was in Allahabad. From, I think, 12 kilometers away, cars would get stopped, and you just had to walk your way through. No one was.
Amazing.
There were a minimum of 1 million people on Ganga, as in on the banks of Ganga that day. And but it was yet so well organized, like people knew what to do in this whole chaos, which we try and strive for, right? In the chaos, if we manage to have some sort of organizational uh, stability, it's quite
That's it.
so.
अपना Olympics का setting is ready then.
Yeah,
But I want to pick your brain on something that you said
yeah,
about the stadiums.
yeah.
Which is the best stadium you have been to? Which is the one that really created an
Event
impression?
happening, or
Sorry?
when I
Generally, doesn't matter whether empty or full.
That's a great question. I mean, I've been to a bunch of them. Like in 2014 was the first time was the only time I actually spent money to, go to Europe. I went on this sporting pilgrimage. In 14 days,
Hmm.
I visited 37 stadiums, and they were all.
Wow,
I had made a list. I mean, I didn't want to miss out on anything, right? So, but
amazing.
if I had to list down, I think Maracana would be right up there. Just, that's
Yeah, ये तो थोड़ा unfair play हो गया. If you've been to Marathon, then I'm guessing nothing else would
wait.
top it.
Maracana was. I mean, I would create. So I leave Eden Gardens and Salt Lake Stadium aside because I have a different kind of a, like, growing up over there. I had a different kind of emotional connection.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure.
Maracana was brilliant. The the Olympic Stadium in Berlin is amazing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Like from outside, it looks amazing. Camp Nou is perhaps the biggest. Like, I don't know. Some stadiums are like these, like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some are like this, so they kind of go on top.
Yeah.
The media tribune in Camp Nou is literally on top of the team benches. You have to watch like this.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah, so Camp Nou and this is not really a venue, but between Patni and Mortlake is the Oxbridge boat racing like route, and I managed
Mm-hmm.
to, as in like convince someone to take.
Scenic ekdam, huh?
Yeah, and it was absolutely beautiful.
Amazing.
It's my top 5. I'm sure I'm missing out on
That's
some.
amazing.
Okay, yeah.
I'm sure, yeah, I won't be surprised अगर जो after we finish you'll realize कि अरे नहीं ये stadium और भी अच्छा था.
Thank you so much, guys. I think this was wonderful. All the best, and I hope you make it to as in a bunch of other events of your choice.
And hopefully you will be there managing them.
Inshallah, man. Inshallah.